All right, good morning, everybody. Happy Monday. Welcome to Survive to Thrive. Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, we practice and role play scripts. Everybody is back from their breakout rooms. Today's challenge was to practice and role play responses to objections. So, guys, got your hands up. I've got three up, by the way. I should have five. We had five rooms, so I'm missing a couple people. Russell, let's go to you first.
Hey, good morning. I was group one. I had Brian Copeland and Joe Grant. Um, the our intention was to get a price reduction. I've been on the market a number of days, and we've gone from high activity down to low activity. So there was a lot of good pushback, a lot of experience in our room. So um, I think that the overall when you're in the chair, it's one thing, but to see where like Brian was taking Joe and then where Joe was taking Brian, um, I think the thing that came up for us is that one good analogy. We did not go to the fishing. You know how you do the fishing, you put your line in the water.
Yep.
We remembered there at the very end, Brian came up and he said, "Hey, I think we need that one good analogy um, to help. I think maybe go from the blah 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 to the blah."
Right,
Yeah.
right. So, what would that sound like, Russell?
Um, It would sound like, hey, if we were going fishing and our price was at 500 and we're trying to catch a fish, but 500, the bait's just out of the water. What does that mean as far as us catching a fish?
Okay.
I know that's not right, but that's close.
It's okay. It's okay. So if we're fishing with our bait out of the water, how many fish are we going to catch? There's the
Yeah.
question, right? If we're fishing with our bait out of the water, how many fish are we going to catch? Now, if the market says 440 is the right price, that's where it's going to sell, then we want to be somewhere between 400 and 450. If the seller says, well, I'm going to start at 475 because a buyer can always make an offer or we can always lower the price later on, that's fishing with your bait out of the water. Because at 475, the buyer that's going to give you $440,000 doesn't even know your home is for sale. They don't see it. All right. And you're competing against the wrong competition. You're not going to be the shining star. All right. Let's go. Hawk.
Hello, good morning. I was in with Michael and Karen and Liliana. We were talking about lowering about price, but it was pre-listing, and just trying to help with the motivation of a seller who she said she's willing to stay on the market for 3 years and not sell. So, I mean, that's a tough one. Um, we went through a couple different scenarios and. Um, I when I because I was the agent role playing with Karen. Um, I did a little too much talking and I didn't bring up enough emotion and Mike Weisman kind of helped coach through that, which was great. I didn't kind of he did. Um, so just making sure you're kind of hitting at their emotion and then we were trying to figure out what could we even do that would work with somebody who is willing to wait 3 years. If there's anything you can even do for somebody like that.
It depends. So it depends on motivation. It depends on perspective. So let me give you an example of what I mean by perspective. So if this market is like that market, write that down. It's one of my favorite scripts. If this time is like that time, one of my favorite scripts. If we went back to 2008 and you had a house that you owned, was there a period of time after 2010 that you wish you would have sold your home back in 2008? If you hung on to that property and you didn't sell it, it was 2016 before your home was worth exactly what it was in 2008. Now, what if this time is like that time? Do you still have 3 years to wait? Now, if they don't have a compelling reason to move, then ask them, what they're going to do with the money. So, what kind of equity are they going to get out of the sale of their home? And what would they use that money for? Let's say they're downsizing. They're going to walk away with $500,000 from the sale of their home. They're buying a house for $300,000. They've got an extra $200,000. What are they going to do with that money? Would they invest it? Would they help their family out? Would they go on an amazing vacation with their family? So it's future positive, future negative. What are the benefits of that money and what would that do for you? Get deep on emotion on this conversation. Logic makes us think, emotion makes us act, and then take everything away. In other words, it's 3 years from now and you're not living that life. You haven't invested the additional 200,000. That's now 250. You haven't made an extra $50,000. You didn't go on that amazing vacation with your family. Okay. Now, the other question that I would ask somebody who doesn't need to sell, underline that word, would you rather sell your home when you need to sell it or when you don't need to sell it? Where is your negotiating position stronger? As a seller who needs to sell or as a seller who doesn't need to sell? Okay, let's go to Sean and then Michael Trelonga.
Okay, we went over kind of agent commission at the listing appointment.
Yep.
We also went over, which went really well. Roger had really good response. I had the standard response. But then Yulia came in. She wanted to talk about when a buyer or seller wants to hire an experienced agent, and she's only been doing it for 2 years.
Yep.
So she did a really good job. She came up with a bunch of reasons why she should be hired, which I think what we gave her was the standard blah is better than blah, blah, blah. Figure out one or two things, have 5 things, figure out one or two things, tell them that, and then move on.
That's right.
Because all they want to hear is something. When I first got in, I said, well, I bought my first investment property in 2006. I was licensed in 2016. So, so it made it seem like I'd been an agent since 2006, but I'd been in the market, blah, blah, blah. So, but she did a really good job after that. Coached her a little bit on knowing her numbers. She didn't mention that she had 4 houses under contract last month. And so it's like, you got to bring that in right off the bat.
That's powerful. I agree. That's powerful. Does anybody know the number one response that I use in that conversation? This is an agent who doesn't have a lot of
Yes, I think I know that.
Go ahead, Julia.
That's a reason you should hire me, because I've been on the business for 2 years, because I'm willing to work hard. I'm like workhorse and so on.
Okay,
I
so
think you did this.
Julia, you're 100% correct. Now, so the conversation is, I understand you want to hire somebody with more experience. Now, that agent is selling lots of homes, correct? Yes, they are. That's why I want to hire them. Yeah, of course. And they're going to sell a lot of homes, whether you hire them or not. They're doing really well. They're making really good money. And maybe they're motivated to sell your home. And then again, maybe not. However, if you were to hire me, I am going to be more motivated to get your home sold because, as you mentioned, I'm just starting out. Now, if I were you, if I were selling my home, I'd rather hire somebody who's super motivated to get my home sold than someone who isn't so motivated. And besides, somebody had to give that agent an opportunity where they knew when they were new, and you could be that person for me. Okay, let's go to Michael Trelongo. Talk to me, buddy.
Yeah, I was just thinking about that. So yeah, so then it's just another sale, right? For me, it's the most important thing in my life. And if you had an hire an agent, would you want it to be the most important thing to them or just another sale?
All right, pause.
Yeah.
Pause. That was good. Right?
Thank you.
Can you say it again, please? So much better than my script, by the way. Better.
Yeah, so you want to hire that agent who's selling all these homes, and great. And it's just another sale for them. For me, it's the most important thing in my career. I'm going to wake up, go to sleep every night thinking about selling your home. And do you want it to be just another sale or the only thing? Like I only win when I sell your home. So just another sale or the most important thing in my life, who's going to work harder for you?
Boom. Just drop the mic right there. That's it. Yeah. Michael, that was great. The first time was actually better than the second
I
time.
agree.
The second time there was some blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And just drop the mic.
Yeah.
Make a powerful statement and drop the freaking mic.
Yeah. So I'm going to volunteer the guys that were in the room with me, Aiden White, Muller, or Geraldine, because I talked the whole time we were in the room. So I'm done talking.
Love it. Talk to me, Aiden.
Hey, how are you?
Amazing.
Yeah, so I was in the room with Michael, and it was great to have him in here because this was the first time I've seen a lot of these, or even heard of a lot of these objections. So in the room, I kind of role played as the seller, and he is the agent, and we kind of went through the entire list of them. And he gave some great responses and a lot of good advice on how to sort of get past some of those to keep the conversation going.
I love hearing that, Aiden. You just awesome. Aiden, how long have you been a real estate agent?
I actually haven't signed up for my license yet. I passed my test
Right.
a couple weeks ago.
Right. I knew the answer to the question. And I know you through Michael Weisman, and I've heard all good things, man. All
Oh,
good
it's good
things.
to hear.
All right. Does he sound like somebody who doesn't even have his license yet, guys? The answer is no. He doesn't. Does Aiden have a super bright future as a real estate agent? Yes, he does. Proud of you, young man. Looking forward
I,
to going on that journey with you.
I'm
Thank
uh,
you.
yeah, Aiden's going to be a rock star. Curious, did anybody answer? I've never heard of you. Didn't hear that. We did it in our room, but I don't know.
Michael,
Right?
you know what my response is to that?
Yeah, I've never heard of you either. Do you want to sell your home?
That's it.
I mean, that's a great one. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And I've actually used it. And yes, I've gotten listings using that. I've never heard of you. Yeah, I've never heard of you either. So when do you want to meet?
I think a question like that uh, speaks to the local the agent. Like if you're driving through your neighborhood and you see five signs and it's
Oh,
the same agent.
Sean. Of course it does. Of course it does. But I'm just asking you to be a little bit of a smartass in this situation. Okay? And just respond with, I've never heard of you either.
Just think of who you're getting that objection from. You're getting that objection from a high D and a high D only. And
That's
if you
right.
don't have a high D response, that call's over.
And if you use that on me, I would absolutely want to work with you. I'm like,
I'm
oh,
listening.
I like this guy. Let's go.
Yeah,
Let's
I'm
go.
listening.
Yeah,
It's good stuff. It's a smokescreen. That's not an objection.
that's
Just
right.
walk right over that and move right on to the next.
Tenfold.
Or you can just agree with it. That's okay. When do you want to meet? So it doesn't matter.
No, you're all of you are correct. All right, it's a wrap. Everybody make it a great day. I'll see you tomorrow. Hopefully some of you are taking the day off. Um, remember what this day is about. It's important. Make it a great day, everybody.
Yourself.
Thank you, John.
Thank
Have a good day, everyone.
Bye, y'all.
See you tomorrow.
Michael Wiseman, I'll see you in a few minutes here.